Welcome to the Harry & Co podcast show. Please like and subscribe for more.
We're not in the studio. This is crazy.
I can't believe you actually managed to pull this off.
Where are we?
We are in the most haunted pub of the Golden Fleece in York.
Oh my God. So yeah, welcome everybody to the podcast on the road for the second time, although it might be the first time because the other time hasn't been published yet. So we're on the road for the first time.
Absolutely.
But still in York and literally 50 metres from...
Yeah, that was quite difficult carrying all the stuff down, to be quite honest. It was a very long 100 metres, that's for sure.
Carrying microphones and lights and everything. But we've done it. Okay, so this place for me is super iconic because I love the paranormal stuff, yeah. What I believe in or what I don't believe in is a different thing, but we've done our little paranormal talk, we've done our paranormal podcast.
I did love how excited you got about it.
Yeah.
Like your passion for this kind of stuff. Even when you managed to get this, you were like, oh my gosh, Nicole, I can't believe it. Like it's actually, I love it.
It's, okay, so I was a big fan of Most Haunted that was on British television and probably some of the bits and pieces, but I think that was quite an iconic TV show, but you haven't seen that, right?
I haven't seen it, no.
It was before you were in the UK. So I mentioned it before. So basically, it's Derek Acora, Yvette Fielding, and then usually special guests. And they're going around haunted castles, maybe like Dover Castle and all sorts of weird places, maybe an old haunted prison. But they came and did a show here. So this place was on Most Haunted.
Was it like in this room, or was it like? Do you remember? Like,
I don't know. These guys would have had loads of equipment.
Yeah, they probably had the whole pub to themselves.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. And all the rooms and everything, everything would have been booked out and stuff. And maybe this room they might have used just for the boxes of kit and stuff. But we travel light, so. But yeah, and so anyway, I was always a big fan of Radio 1, and I always used to listen to Chris Moyles. I mentioned this before offline probably, but Chris Moyles in the morning. And in the evening, Scott Mills, or on the drive home, Scott Mills. Yeah. So big fan of both of those, and certainly Scott Mills. Used to listen to him all the time. So, and when you listen to someone on the radio, you feel in a way a bit close to them, don't you? Does that sound like a celebrity stalker kind of moment?
No, it's so true. It's like one of those things where when you watch a TV program, and it's like someone on there, and you just feel like you personally know them. So I get what you mean. Yeah,
I mean it's like TV shows, series, and things like that. It happens, but at you might be listening to the same radio presenter for 2 years every morning. Yeah. So actually, they're in your brain anyway. Scott Mills, I used to listen all the time. So this episode that was filmed here, the special guest was Scott Mills from Radio 1, BBC Radio 1. And I think Mark Chapman, who was his sidekick at the time, I think. So that elevated this for me, and being in York. So it made it all mad, and it made the Golden Fleece as a pub quite iconic for me.
So what kind of on that kind of what was a TV show? What did they actually Did they do kind of tours of the rooms and things like that? What was it?
Okay, so Most Haunted, this show, and then they're all on YouTube, so you can see absolutely everything, and you can watch ones from here, which is great. But they're really old now, really old, and I'm not sure if they're still doing that show on one of the strange channels that you've never heard of, because everything is Netflix and stuff now, right? But effectively, the premise was there'd be some history about the building, about where they were, what they were doing, and what was going on. And then eventually it'd go into night vision camera mode. So they have these probably Sony Handycams where they've got infrared and it's all a bit green.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And actually, I was thinking, can we get one now? And I think the Sony ones, the old cameras, they used to have it built in, so you could do this on a super budget. And then Derek Acora, who was the psychic medium, he'd have a little spirit boy with him. The less said, the better. I don't know how that works anyway. And I thought his name was Tim, but I can't remember now. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge later. And his spirit friend boy thing would give him connect him to spirits and go, there's somebody in the room, Derek. Yeah. So it was.
I really feel. I just realised. I think we've missed an opportunity to not bring a Ouija board.
We upturned glass. We got that covered. We'll sort it. We were talking about that, but I said don't want to dance with the devil. Yeah. I didn't want to do something that was really
actually freak us out. Because to be honest, even just walking in here, it is so warm in here that my glasses are literally fogging up.
But is that because of the warmth, or is that
some
spirit?
You know what?
Have you got a spirit guide called Timmy? Who knows?
Fiona.
Little Fiona. It's got to be a child to fit in with the thing. Weird. Where were we?
I don't know. I was just talking about something, and then my glasses distracted me.
But anyway, so it'd go into this green camera, and there'd be a noise, And then like half of you's thinking like, if they went to a haunted castle and there wasn't that noise, that bang, doesn't make a show. So you're always thinking like, oh, I bet it was, and they'd just pan the camera around quickly, going, look, there's definitely no one there. Like, you know, you just know.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying to you last time. Like when it's on TV or when it's on kind of a screen, it's really hard to believe when things like that actually happen because you don't know if there's someone jumping out.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say when I walked through here, I definitely just felt like it's just creepy in it.
Yeah.
Like it's got like a nice atmosphere. There's people downstairs like enjoying a nice drink, had a hard day at work. They're just chilling. But I don't know if I would just be able to chill.
Or go
because
or
like
sleep in
even
one of the
right
rooms.
now, I'm literally looking at that curtain over there and no one can see it. But
it's blowing.
It's just blowing. And it's literally the wind. But I'm like, oh, no, I got to get out.
It could be
I've got to bail.
Don't worry, you're well protected. But look at the... I don't know how old bits and pieces are.
The architecture in here is very old, though.
That looks old.
Like, do you remember walking up those stairs? They're all, like, crooked.
Oh, the places. So I think this building and next door, the supporting structures were just probably big wooden beams. And if you look from outside, a lot of these buildings are just bowed completely with the weight of the building. So, like, the whole thing's just bent. It's crazy.
It is really crazy. Even, like, when we had to set this up, we had to like, put beer mats under to make sure it was, like,
if people could see the floor here, it's like one of those crazy houses, when you go to the fair. Yeah, so, but absolutely iconic place. What we'll do is we'll have a little walk around. We'll put some of the little videos of where we explore. We'll definitely get a drink. We're in a pub. It is a pub after all.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that.
Yeah, and then we'll start. I'd like to look at some of the we need to know how old everything is. Yeah, and we'll go through some of the stories that people, because there are some specific stories, specific ghosts, and
apparently there's like 15 or something that apparently like live here. And it's like I was just reading up today, but well interesting. Actually creeps me out. And it is a hotel as well. Only 4 rooms, but you can. Are they like always fully booked kind of thing? Like people
I
actually
imagine.
love
but
this
York
kind of
is
stuff.
a super popular tourist destination, so
especially
I think there's a lot of
for
that.
like the ghost tours and things like that. Like it's
there
really
is.
popular, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're going to start. We'll get a quick drink. I think we're all good. All the gear's set up. Yeah. Let's get the ghosts sort of lively and I'm excited.
To the bar.
So we'll get some videos going of where we're walking around and some still images. I want to show people where we are. Yeah. But wow, what an impressive place! I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's amazing. Giddy. I know you're literally like a little boy in high school.
Okay, all right, let's get going.
Let's go.
Oh, no headphones. Okay.
We're off.
Wow, I've got to go down because the camera angle's really low. So we're in. This is one of the rooms. We haven't booked any rooms in the Golden Fleece. This is a hotel, and the rooms are always booked. There's only 4 rooms in the hotel, and I'm pretty sure all of them are haunted, some more than others. And here we are. What's the name of this room? Let's have a quick look. Oh, it's Catherine's room.
Do you reckon that's kind of like a old...
We bent down.
I know, we're probably like
gives a good effect.
Went down. Okay, and then we'll just talk really quiet.
Do you think it's one of the
I feel like we're in like a crikey, mate. Right, here we are.
In the jungle. But so this is one of the beautiful rooms, and one of the rooms, for example, has a 4-poster bed, which in itself for me is like super scary and super haunted. Okay, and
it's the pictures for me though.
We need to do the research. Why Catherine's?
Yeah.
There's got to be some connection. Yeah, there's a story for all parts of the pub, what happened in the back bar, what happened in some of the rooms. But I'll take the camera and we'll just have a look at some of the rooms. Look at this. So, super, that's freaky. Is that freaky? Like, it's, I mean, these are prints. They're not original photos, but they've deliberately chosen some of the artwork. Gorgeous fireplace, like some really cool original features. Wow. And who's this guy behind the lovely Nicole? I'm following Nicole around. Who's this guy? Is that King Charles the something?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
King Charles
or something, so. Isn't it?
Everyone's gonna be like, no, it's King Edward.
Correct him. Get in the
Anyway,
comments.
wow, absolutely incredible. So, one of the amazing rooms here. Oh, in the Golden Fleece.
Incredible,
Pub
absolutely.
and inn.
They've done it out really well as well. He was just saying it was refurbished in like February or something.
Okay.
And it's been done to like when I walked in, I was so surprised about the quality and the standard of the rooms.
Yeah, it's good. Old furniture and old. But so unfortunately we can't go in the room with a 4-poster bed. But we'll get the story on this one and we'll find out what's going on. But just look at the ceiling and the painting, the fireplace. But it's light outside and the ghosts are not here yet. So. Yeah, and obviously the weather's getting good, so it's not dark until much later. But they're absolutely stunning rooms, incredible. But we'll get back to the podcast. We'll start going through some of the stories, a little bit of the history and the age of the pub. We've got some photos from outside, which are cool, so people can really get an idea of what's going on. Okay, back to the podcast. Bye-bye. Well, drinks are on display.
Absolutely.
People are going to think we're not alcoholics. We're publicising
good old berries and cherries I've got.
Brands.
It's very good in this pub, that berries and cherries.
Do you think we'll get a sponsorship one day?
Absolutely. Come on, Golden Fleece.
So, we just had a walk around one of the rooms.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Okay.
You know what? I'll be honest, when you first told me we were going to do it, you know I wasn't that excited. And I was like, oh, maybe just do it with someone else.
Yeah.
But this has actually been really cool. And to go into one of the pubs and know a bit of the history and what's happened, I was very fascinated when I got in there.
It's good. But being one of something that is really like, hang on a minute, we're the most haunted pub in the UK, it says on the front of the thing.
So it is the UK?
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, if you make a legal statement, I think someone can sue you unless you can prove it. If you say, like, this our car that we sell, it's the best car in the world. Yeah. All the other car manufacturers' legal departments would like come after you like vultures, right?
Yeah.
But if no one can prove either way that their thing is more haunted than another, because
that's very true. It's just based on people's experiences, isn't it?
So it's a bit of a weird one, but anyway. So I've got the magic book. So basically, the guys behind the bar keep this wonderful,
this is amazing,
leather-bound book.
All the info, all the goss,
and you have to ask for the book. Okay, so it's got a bit of menu stuff in, but it's got the history and it's got some of the information. So talking about the pub, then, so names and like where the pub sort of first was first looked at. Like we can go in archives and see when it was in history. Because it's so old. You think like records change and like information gets lost and things like that as like wars happen or things change, right? So super old.
Because really, that far being back, everything would just be based on books and things like that. Yeah. And hopefully, in a way, people have written things down, and we actually know all that through books. Really,
it's like looking for an old birth certificate. If you're going back on your family tree, it's like it's on a computer, it's on a computer, it's on a computer, it's in a church, it's in a church, it's in a church, and then you go back so far, and it's like, well, God knows where that is. Anyway. But so the Golden Fleece. So there's a lot of historic buildings in York. There's one just down the road, which is the Merchant Venturers Hall, which is now like a wedding venue, super nice. You've probably been there.
Yeah.
So like,
I've seen it.
Super old hall, wooden,
it's beautiful,
gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, really historic. Like timber frame, absolutely gorgeous. I think I DJ'd there once for a wedding. Long story. What? We'll come back to that. We don't want to go off track. We've promised each other. Anyway, so and that was all about trading, right? Merchant adventurers, like it was the merchants, the traders.
And when was that? Is that back at? Do you know when that was?
This is going to be, so it'll tie in, I guess, with the date of the pub.
Which is like 1500s.
Yeah. Okay, and for however long, and hundreds of years, who knows? And they're a guild, right? The people, I think that certain like groups of people that trade stuff are a guild, okay? And basically, this particular guild mostly traded in fleece and wool, so like sheep,
right?
Fleece, wool, okay.
I'm loving this education.
Fleece, is that just before it's made into wool? The fleece of a sheep, is that like the cut hair?
Yeah,
anyway.
I would assume. I'm saying that without knowing factually, but that sounds about right.
Sheep experts, put some comments in, because we don't profess to be sheep experts. That's not why we're here. And effectively, so I think the name of the pub was generated by that trading, and it was those people that mainly drunk here because that was a thriving business in York, very close, and so this was the sort of drinking place. And back then there was very, very few. I think in the area there might have been at one point only 2 licensed premises, because there was a clampdown on licensed premises and licenses actually.
Wow.
Because like years ago, I'm sure at some point, like you could drink anywhere and it was all like, but now you have a license, don't you?
Yeah. You got to apply to a council to get a license,
So I think there were probably all sorts of weird things going on, and then there was a clampdown on licensing, and there was only a certain amount of pubs. But anyway, at that point, York must have been like tiny compared to what it is now with thousands and thousands of people, right? So that's where it gets its name. So the Golden Fleece, the traders, and the people drinking here. So that's quite interesting, and tying it in with some of the other older buildings. And when we clip in insert some sort of pictures outside, people are like, oh wow, like it.
It's it's crazy, isn't it? Like how,
absolutely.
And also just like when you stand back and you look at the building, it's like it's not even straight.
No.
Like it literally just looks like it's going to come down.
So that's one of the facts. So it's believed, and there's certain things they probably can't dig up and try, but there'll be people that'll be interested for like historical purposes in trying to understand more about old buildings. God, it's boring. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the ghosts. But
definitely didn't think I was going to be going into all this, but hey,
but I want to do this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Properly. Absolutely.
It's believed that the building's on stilts.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
Some kind of basement or whatever, but not solid foundations, but built on stilts. And things like that will probably lend itself to the fact that there's structurally been a lot of changes over the years, which we can see because everything's really warped and the floors are strange. And absolutely incredible. So on this site, and when they're looking at the archives, the date sort of mentioned all the time for the Golden Fleece is 1503, because when they go back in the archives, that's the first sort of time in history that fleece and golden fleece were mentioned here in this area as whether that's as a pub or when it's not. So, but then before then, there's that thing, like you can only go back so far.
Yeah, you don't even know it could have been earlier.
Yeah. So, and on the front of the building, if you look, I think there's you look at the brickwork and things. There was a big open archway before and things like this. So there is some structural changes that have happened outside, so it would have looked different. And I think a lot of the other buildings nearby won't have been here. And I always think that when walking down a high street with very old buildings, every now and again, I always sort of like close my eyes a bit and think, at some point, the newer ones would all have not been there. Yeah. It would have been so different. Yeah. Not just here.
And like even just the upbuild of the city, like you do wonder if there was like something next door or like what is actually been in the foundation like back then.
I love it. And so then on the back of that and the kind of history part, we've already mentioned it, Scott Mills, Radio 1 and the visit there, and they've got it in the book. So that was in 2005. So that was like 19 years ago.
Oh my God, I didn't realise that.
Makes me feel a little bit sick inside.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that. And that means I would have been like 21 or 23.
That is crazy. So that was how far, was that like one of, like obviously The Most Haunted, that TV show, had that been going up for a while?
Yeah, it had. Yeah, it had, because I remember watching it, and then when I got excited that they were going to the Golden Fleece. Yeah. But so the mentioning thing, Derek Akora, who I mentioned, I don't think it mentions his boy-child thing, the spirit guide. It's not in there.
The boy-child thing.
Boy-child. And... Ciaran O'Keefe.
I was reading
I can't say some of these names.
I was reading up on something that is pretty fascinating. So in terms of like...
That's the history done.
Yeah. So
hit me with some juice.
I've got kind of like... I have to read it off because my memory is not always the best. But I think I don't want to get anything wrong. So originally in like 1702... So
late in the history. 200 years later.
It was Lord John Becket. He was the mayor of York at the time, and then his wife, Lady Alice, they owned the premises.
Oh, wow.
And then another famous person, which was a famous ghost, as I say, was a Canadian airman who was airman. Jeff Munro.
Oh, Jeff,
He actually died while staying in room number 4 of the inn.
How old and what date?
So it just says he died staying in room number 4 in the inn in 1945.
Oh, so okay.
So quite, well, can you say recent? But do you know, compared to when it was opened. And then people sleeping in that room now have since been frightened by his icy fingers.
Jeff's icy fingers.
Waking them and terrified to see him standing there in full uniform. So in his airman.
Oh, God.
And then the poor man threw himself off the window, or he may have fell from the window. They don't know if he threw himself or he fell.
Staying in the room.
Yeah, Jeff, good old Jeff, who's still in the pub. Who, don't get me wrong, when I'm finished this drink, might be touching me with his icy fingers.
Can we find him? Can we get him on the Jeff? If you, where's the glass?
Do we have a glass?
Can the runner get us a glass? Can you get us one of these little glasses? We've got a runner here. This is so professional. We've got like all the people.
We've got the runner. We've got the full team. All right, guys, calm down.
I'm going to put this to one side.
Right, put me phone out.
Hand comes in.
What are we doing here?
I'm not doing a Ouija board. Put your finger on it. Put your finger on.
What do you do? Is this what you do on a Ouija board?
Okay, so you got to put a little bit of pressure on.
Bit of pressure.
Okay. Oh, God.
What am I doing?
So Jeff the icy fingers. So he's the ghost.
You got to talk to him.
He's the ghost. Jeff.
Jeff.
And he's the airman.
Well, he's not icy fingers. He's just called Jeff.
But we might feel his
Munro. His
Jeff
name's
Munro. Okay, so respectfully, because we've got to be respectful in that, Jeff. If Jeff Munro, bless your soul, Jeff Munro, crossed over to the other side. I think that's what Derek Akora used to say. Yep. If you're here, give us a sign.
Or not.
Give us a sign. There's a lot of lights in the room. Make a light flicker. Can we make a light go out? Jeff Munro. try and move the glass if you're in the room.
Oh. I think he's off.
We can't hear. We won't, because we've got the headphones on. We won't hear a lot. But then a lot of this stuff, we talk about electro energy, don't we? Sort of thing. So you might, So you might either see something on a camera
or
later,
like
or
the whole camera just turns off.
Yeah.
Stops recording.
There's nothing here.
I'm just wondering what am I doing here? Like, why is my finger?
No, so
what is this? What you do on a
and it might
Ouija
move
board.
like that.
Ah.
But that's me.
But we can't.
That is me.
Yeah, that is you.
Okay, that was you.
That was me. That was me. That was me. It's all right. It's not. I'm not gonna. No.
Right.
I don't feel anything yet.
That light go out. Oh my God! One of the lights, one of the light bulbs is off. Have a look at the light in the corner.
No, don't be.
That one was off over. There's one out that was.
No, you're kidding me.
Already out. No, is that one coming on slowly? No, but that one's gone off since we started talking.
What? That was definitely on.
Yeah.
Keely, are you serious? Is that definitely?
Well, and one of the lights is coming back on. These are fluorescent lamps. That's gone off, but that's gone off since we've been talking. Jeff Monroe.
No, I need to see it with my eyes.
Give us, Jeff.
No, sorry, mate. Do it again.
Give us any sort of sign, Jeff, respectfully. If you've passed over to the other side, but your spirit's still here, give us a sign.
I swear, if anything touches me on my body, I'm out. I'm gone.
Well, he's got his icy fingers.
Oh, no.
I don't want to be rude about people.
No.
That's why I say respectfully.
Being respectfully, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the story.
You saw that.
That's the story of Jeff and his icy fingers. So, and we'll come back with some of the stories, but I would like a sign. That light that's a light going out. That's a freaky one. But
you saw when you were doing some videos before, you were walking down, all the lights were flickering, wasn't it? But now, is that like something to do with tech?
I had my camera in slow-mo, so I was trying to create a bit of a thing, and the lights were flashing. Now, sometimes I think that happens, but there is that electro, orbs. So they watch a video back, and you'll see something like. So who knows when we?
I know that will be back, when you cut this and edit it. That will be interesting if there's something there.
Yeah. So okay, we're going to take a little break because we're going to take a walk around and see if we can sense anything or anything, and then we'll come straight back.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds
good. We'll
have
a quick drink, and I'm starving as well, so I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind a bite to eat. But yeah, we'll get back with some more ghostly tales shortly.
Hopefully I do return. That's all. I'm a little bit scared now.
Jeff and his icy fingers. Oh, it's feeling like that. Do you know what? It's a good job it's not dark outside, because that would add a twist.
I don't think I'd be here, honestly. If I think that's the thing.
With the power out.
Yeah, like when we were talking over text and stuff, like we would be light, and I'm like, I think I can do it.
Wow.
But if it was dark, I think I would have struggled to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, fab. We'll be back.
Have a quick break. Back soon. Oh, so we've had a little break. We've still got it's not a Ouija board, but we've still got a little glass here.
Little glass.
It's
I'm still waiting.
Well, it's something to be interacted with, so it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Oh, we've had a little walk around. We've had a little look around. Oh God, this place is cool.
It's amazing. It's the structure and everything is just fascinating.
I just like, it's hard, isn't it? Because we can see with our eyes, but there's only so much you can show. But anyway, we want to talk about hauntings.
Yeah,
we're here to talk about the paranormal.
There's so many stories.
Yeah.
That I've heard, and even talking to people, it's absolutely fascinating what has gone on in this pub.
Do you want me to start? Or are you going to start?
You go.
We've got all the stories. So obviously we've been reading up on things, I'm getting giddy.
You are. You love this, don't you?
I get it's if I get latch on something, I can get quite passionate about it. But our lovely runner has been helping us no end with some of the information, and because this is really different from just having a chat, right? But the first one, yes, I'll go. Obviously, we've had a walk and a bit of a tour in one of the bedrooms, which I thought was amazing, very beautiful. But obviously, everything in this building, whether it's changed, whether it's been redecorated, is 1503. The building is the building, right? So the fabric of the building and what's been here before is what it is. And St. Catherine's room. This is the room we were able to have a good look at. And the 4 rooms have all got their own stories. We could have been in one of the rooms that had your airman story, for example, with Jeff and his icy fingers.
Good old Jeff.
I'm very sorry you didn't get to experience his icy fingers, but there's always next time. I just smacked myself in the face with the microphone.
You never know. We haven't left yet. Jeff might come out with his icy
How
fingers.
long are they?
I just feel like his nails would be quite long. I don't know, because back then, do you think they had nail clippers?
I don't know. But I had cartoon ice hands in my head. My head's messed up. But no, so my favourite story at the Golden Fleece, and I remember this isn't me looking in the magic book. I remember this because I've been here, and I think I probably asked someone behind the bar, tell me a story.
Yeah.
And it's the story. So this is like in the 17th century. There'll be exact dates. And this is about the barman or landlord, one of the landlords of the pub, going back many, many, many years, so 300 and something years, who hung himself in, and this is why, you've got to think when something is so old, so much stuff could happen. Like children must have been born in this building, right?
Yeah,
because it's just such a long period that everything and anything will have happened, right? And that's where a lot of the hauntings come in. So anyway, this particular landlord hung himself in the bar.
What, like downstairs?
Downstairs, I think in the back bar area. So the back
when you walk
pub.
through the front door, you go down like a corridor, don't you? And it's right down the back.
Yeah, I don't know. They won't be able to get a picture of it, but effectively hung himself on a hook that was in the. Now it could be used to hang meat or something years ago, because all that's where we are. And he hung himself on this hook that's in the wall ceiling, sort of in the pub. But now it's been covered over for whatever, because things change. So, but the hook, apparently the hook is still there, because it'll be probably cast iron and something you wouldn't take out, but it's been covered up.
Do you reckon
it's still there?
But with the hook though, or obviously he just put the rope on the hook?
Yeah, no, yes, I put the rope on the hook. Oh God, no, I don't think he put his head back and impaled himself.
Things.
Oh God, that'd be more gruesome
awful.
though, wouldn't it? So anyway, right, and the point on this one is, so normally there's some relevance to then something else that happens. And there's a lot of people that have reported like a strangling sensation when being certainly in the back bar area, but within the Golden Fleece, like feeling a choking feeling.
You know what my question is?
Yeah, go on.
With paranormal activity.
Yeah.
I was thinking, do you actually think, and have you ever heard of a story where people have actually been physically hurt by it? Oh. Do you think that ghosts can physically hurt you? This
is the thing, because you have to have the belief in the stuff, right? There was those films like Paranormal Activity 1, 2, 3, 4. Did it ever finish? I don't know. Yeah, but the first one that ever came out, they always try some of these films that go on like this was filmed on a camera, like a baby monitor that was found a year later, or like the Blair Witch Project and stuff. But it's not. It's just been made. So I really don't know. Because,
I would love to but obviously those people who...
I don't know.
Maybe it was staff members or maybe it was people in the pub, to actually know how much they maybe couldn't have breathed, or that feeling of strangulation, and if people can actually be physically hurt by that kind of thing. That is well interesting, that people actually felt that.
But multiple people, got multiple people reporting the same thing, and then you
don't know each other.
Yeah, but that's it. Then you hope they haven't heard the story from the first person. And go, actually, I might have felt a little, and this is that thing you never really know, but certainly that's the takeoff from that one is that people feel, many people have reported this choking and strangling feeling. It's like, wow,
that is crazy. But, I was reading up something. What was it?
Yeah,
let me just have a look. As I said, awful memory, but I was reading that in 2002. So we're talking about the tour groups. So much newer. So a group of people that are doing ghost tours, they were scared by the appearance of a man dressed in 17th century clothes who walked through the wall.
All right, so it's definitely
through the wall, across a corridor, and towards the shamble bars. What terrified them
the front
most?
Bar, maybe. There's a bar at the front bar. The Shambles bar might be the front bar.
Oh, okay.
So maybe walk through all the walls in the pub.
Oh, in the pub. So not towards the Shambles, just more
I think the name
is the Shambles bar.
Anyway, carry on.
What terrified the most was that he passed and stared at them straight in the eyes. So he turned around, stared at them straight in the eyes, and then just continued walking.
Oh my God.
But it would have to be reading that.
Yeah.
It says a group. So the group would have had to see it. Does that make sense?
There's got to be some sort of validation, right? If one person's, it's got to be...
we were talking about in our last podcast, when you were you were with your mates, you're like, did you see that? Oh my gosh, did you see that?
Yeah.
But then obviously they must have been like, okay, please tell me someone just saw that. And they must have all kind of seen them together for them to state that it was a group thing. Otherwise it would have been someone on a group tour.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just absolute. I don't know what I'd do.
I crave evidence. I crave. Yeah. I want to believe. There's so many things I would really like to believe in, but you got to give me the evidence. Yeah, baby.
I'm exactly the same. I either need to physically see it for myself.
Yeah.
Or actually no, that's it. Literally, that's it. I think I need to see it for myself.
Or no, I love when you do stuff like that.
Or no, actually.
No, so it's like it's this, or actually it could also no, it can only be this.
it's live, isn't it? Well, just when I'm talking.
I love your style. Although I never look at this area. What all the cameras going on?
I know.
But so we already said, we're going to do the podcast into two sections. We're going to upload the first sections, part 1 and part 2, so people can continue watching them when they're both released.
Yeah. So many people into this though. I was speaking to one of my friends, one of my friends the other day, and we were on a little play date with our little girls, and I told her, I was like, and like I said to you, know where I felt. I was like, we're doing it at the Golden Fleece. I don't know what's going to come of it, because I just felt like an idiot a little bit. Yeah. And she just turned around. She's like, what? She's like, I love that kind of stuff. She was like, I literally listen to podcasts about like paranormal activity. I'm like, wow, there's people in this world that are so into this kind of stuff. And yes, I might not be one, but I definitely am fascinated in like the spiritual world and like that kind of thing. But like, look at the Shambles and that York Merchants. Yeah. People like queue completely down there, don't they? And like get the ghost things.
I think there's a twofold thing. I think there's the fantasy element, like, okay, people like watching Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. There's that fantasy world thing, But then on a more deeper level, I think people like to believe in something, right? And we could go real deep on this, and we can talk about religion, we can talk about God, Jesus, all the other religions out there, and we say and then a lot of people, Ricky Gervais, will turn around and go, there is no God, there is no religion, it's the biggest con in the world, and he might say, but people like something to believe in.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think that's the thing, is like having that kind of supernatural power, or someone maybe you could be like to ask for help, or, and like you said, us just standing here going, Jeff, not standing, we're sitting, but Jeff, Monroe, are you out there, are you here? And I think it's just definitely like that other connection to the spiritual world. Yeah. People are just so fascinated in that.
No, I like this.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any other stories?
I do, but we're going to come back at them because so we're going to we'll split this down. So we're going to say thanks for watching this episode, but stay tuned, because if you're watching on any of the streaming platforms, any of the podcast platforms, I expect this will go straight into the next episode. But if you're only watching episode 1 and you don't want to see all the rest that's going on, goodbye to you, sir, and ladies and everyone.
But definitely tune in. Definitely tune into the next one. I think it'll be interesting. Exactly. We'll discover some more things and hopefully tell you some more stories.
Yeah. So stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching so far. Come back, join us again very, very soon in the Golden Fleece in York, the most haunted pub in the UK.
Thanks, guys.
See
Have
you
a
later.
lovely evening. Bye.
Take care. Bye.